UMAR AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global, joined by Adam Smith. Big card tomorrow night, a real boxing fans card in Newcastle.
It's a fantastic card and a wonderful atmosphere on what's been a very difficult week, as we all know. Our thoughts remain with Patrick Day and everybody connected to what happened in Chicago last Saturday, his friends, his family, and boxing pulls together in times like this. And we know the world will go on. We know that the fights will continue to pour out. We've got an incredible schedule coming up to Christmas. It starts here in Newcastle. It's a fantastic bill, and I think sort of a penny for the thoughts of Ted Cheeseman and Scott Fitzgerald and Lewis Ritson and Robbie Davis Jr. about sort of how they've taken the news, because they've got to focus on their job in hand. It's a business. They've all got very, very important fights for their own careers, and they've got to get on with it. A terrific atmosphere, as we always expect in Newcastle. Packed out arena. It's going to be wonderful. Lewis Ritson is huge here. Can he win in a very tough fight with Robbie Davis Jr., one that we're all really looking forward to. Similarly, the chief support with Ted Cheeseman and how he'll bounce back from what happened to him earlier in the year, and Scott Fitzgerald, who's had that fantastic victory over Anthony Fowler. So, yeah, really, really good fights. And what pleased me was the respect actually shown between the four of them up there in a week where our attention is in America and it is on Patrick Day and what happens. So pleased to see that. But yes, it is a very big fight night for us tomorrow, and we can't wait for it.
I was going to bring up Patrick there. What do you think can be done? Firstly, our thoughts are with his family and his loved ones.
Absolutely.
It must be incredibly tough. God knows what they're going for at the moment. But in terms of moving forward for the sport, what do you think can be done more to limit these? We know fatalities are going to happen. They've always happened in boxing. But just to limit and, reduce them as much as we can. What do you think can be done medically?
We know it's a really dangerous sport, as are combat sports, as are other sports. You get into a racing car, you get up onto a horse, you play on a rugby pitch. There is elements of danger with everything. And,
swimming.
And that's the risk that the fighters take, and we know that boxing is a combat sport, so obviously the focus is going to be on our sport when things like this happen, when tragedies do unfold. I've been at Sky only a year when James Murray tragically lost his life against Drew Doherty, and that was really hard to come to terms with. I questioned myself about whether I wanted to carry on in boxing.
Really?
Yeah, I did, and I went to see James's mum a few months on, and I had a long chat with her, and we went to his gravestone, and she said that boxing didn't kill James Murray, boxing saved him, and it would have been the drugs on the estates of Glasgow or something else that would have taken him down the wrong path and led to a demise, really, if it hadn't been for boxing. So
have you questioned yourself in the sport?
Well, since that moment when a mum can actually say that, even though her son has lost his life through a sport that he wanted to do, I thought that was extremely powerful, and that stayed with me. So, we know that boxing does a lot of good. We know that boxing helps save people from those situations, those bad situations out there. It gives a dedication, a discipline, a structure, and we know our fighters are the most athletic, disciplined, dedicated, and a wonderful breed. They know the dangers. They get in the ring. I talked to Spencer Oliver, who I'm very close to, one of my colleagues, and he went through it. He came out and he had 100% recovery from the quick thinking of what happened in the Albert Hall that night. And you ask him, he'll say he'll fight again every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So that is fighters for you. What can we do to make it safer? I think it was safer when Spencer got in the ring than when Michael Watson did. So I think it's safer today than when Spencer did. So I think the British board have done a phenomenal job. Doctors, paramedics, MRI scans now, weight checks, all of these things are going to help. But obviously we can't, eradicate occasionally what does happen. And this week it is all about Patrick Day and everybody that was connected with the fight. Charles, people don't think about the opponent in this, and I think that's really important, and his team, but obviously Joe Higgins, Lou DiBella, everybody that was around it. I know Eddie has found it very, very difficult. I've spoken to him a lot this week. He was in Chicago, I wasn't. He'd spoken to Patrick at the press conference. So very, 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 very tough for all of boxing. And I think you've got to be in boxing to realise that the outpouring is real. The outpouring is from everybody, whatever promoter, whatever broadcast you're on. We love our fighters, and it's terrible when these things happen. So anything that can be done to help improve the safety, we're never gonna get it totally right, but we can get it better. And I think the more we do, the better. And obviously, we wish the safety when they get in the ring as much as we can, and but I think if you ask Ted and you ask Scott and you ask Lewis and you ask Robbie, they want to get in there as much as they did last weekend. So, you know, it's their business, it's for their dreams, for their families. And I'm sure Patrick Day, if he was here today, I'm sure he'd say the same thing, that he'd want everyone to carry on and live their dreams, because that was his dream. He didn't have to box, he was from a nice family, he didn't have to put on the gloves, but he chose to do it, he wanted to do it, and you know, he did what he loved, and I think that's there's something in that. But yes, it's a terribly sad situation, and we all feel it in boxing.
Absolutely, echo that. Okay, Adam, I want to talk about two particular Sky box office events. One boxing related, one non-boxing related. Let's start with the one non-boxing related, WWE. Tyson Fury returned to Sky box office on WWE. What have you made of it all?
Nothing surprises me with A, boxing, or entertainment, and B, with Tyson Fury. You know, listen, Tyson won the world heavyweight title on Sky Sports box office.
Yeah, you were commentating there.
I was out in Germany, and it was a phenomenal display. You know, he mentally spooked Vladimir Klitschko that week, and he physically beat him on the night. I thought he was terrific. He had a tough time after that, and he's rebuilt in incredible fashion. You know, where he's gone with his weight, with dealing with mental health and depression, and all the things that he's talked very openly and honestly about. To come back into the ring is phenomenal. To share a ring with Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, to beat Deontay and to get up off that knockdown, all of those things. Look, he suffered a bad cut last time out. He wasn't great against Otto Wallin, but he dug deep and he got the job done. Look, you know, if the Wilder fight's going to happen in February, you probably want him to sort of rest the cut up and get back into sort of light training, etc. But that's not Tyson Fury. You know, he's using his brain. He's getting into another world. He's increasing his popularity. As I said, it's entertainment. People want to see entertainment. This is why we're doing KSI and Logan Paul on November the 9th. People want to see it. There is a market. There is an appetite. So, yeah, I mean, look, Tyson's Tyson, and we'll all be sort of watching, won't we, with interest. But listen, we want him back in the boxing world, and we want him back in 2020 in the big fights.
Okay, now moving on to next week, bit more serious business. Incredible unification fight between Josh Taylor and Regis Prograis, and obviously the small matter of Derek Chisora and David Price, and so many other fights I've mentioned, Okoli and Garbu. Who else have we got? It's a stacked card.
Ricky Burns, Lee Selby, Conor Benn as well. I think Shannon Courtney. I think it's one of the best cards of 2019 period. Full stop.
What about Sky box office in general? Is that on paper?
I think
the best you've ever put on?
I think it's got to be right up there. You know, certainly for boxing fans, maybe the casual audience would prefer the Anthony Joshuas, the Dillian Whites, but I think for a sort of hardcore trade fan, I mean, I think it really is a genuine, total pick'em between Prograis and Taylor. I was with Regis yesterday. He's been here a couple of weeks already in Britain. He's got a big team with him. He's a very bright young man. He's got a hell of a record behind him. He's wild, he's powerful, he's unpredictable, he's very dangerous, and he's really intent on winning this World Super Series final. No stone has been left unturned with Prograis' training. You flip that over to Josh Taylor. Josh is one of my favourite fighters. I think he's a wonderful talent. I've followed him for many years. I think that getting him back on Sky for the semi-final of the Super Series was a great thing for us. I'm really, really excited about this fight. I think it's nominal top of the bill. You know, Chisora Price might be more for the casuals, for the heavyweight fans out there, but that's a great fight in itself. You know, we're expecting Chisora to go in with Parker. It's a great replacement, if not better, with David Price, because he's obviously really well known in Britain. It's going to be a thunderous action in that one, and it's going to be high quality in the battle for the supremacy between Taylor and Prograis. As you say, add the others. I think it's a great night at the O2, and I think this begins the most powerful period of boxing we've had on Sky at the end of any year. I think these next 7-8 weeks, when we've got, you know, phenomenal events, nights, something different, almost like next week you've got something real for the boxing fans. November the 9th, you've got two of the best boxers in the world in Devon Haney and Billy Joe Saunders on the same card as two YouTubers who are attracting a totally different sort of market. And what a chance for the young to see boxing at its finest with the likes of Devon and Billy Joe on the card as well. Give them the entertainment with the YouTubers as well. KSI and Logan Paul, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that. Katie Taylor back at UK and Irish prime time November 2nd in Manchester. I'm really excited about that. Worked very, very closely with Eddie on that and Brian Peters to make sure that Katie came back and was this side of the pond at our time. Really important fight for her as she steps up in weight. Joshua Buatsi returning, one of our great hopes. And Anthony Crolla, we say a fond farewell after so many great memories in Manchester. You go forward then, you've got Callum Smith in Liverpool. We've got more big announcements coming as well. Monaco the weekend after, and then we're out in Saudi for the big rematch. So, it's a terrific period of boxing. You add the golden contract to it, some next-gen action as well, and more from the States. I think we're hard pushed. If you look back over maybe 5-6 years, we're hard pushed to have a stronger October to December. It's just such a tough one because of what's happened this week. And I think that has to take priority with the Patrick Day situation. But, as we know, boxing goes on. Patrick would have wanted it to go on, and same, I'm sure his family, as much as they're grieving now, they know how important boxing was to him and how important it is to the likes of Ted and of Robbie and of all the guys on the card here. They've got business to take care of, they've got to get on with it, and we look forward to a really exciting and hopefully safe fight night here in Newcastle.
Absolutely. Just before I let you go, popped into my head, no UK broadcasters picked up the Beterbiev-Gvozdyk.
Yeah, I'm very surprised about that.
Did you want to have that fight on Sky?
I'm very surprised about it. It didn't actually sort of come into my field of view because so much has been going on. We've got huge amounts going on Sky. We've got a lot coming our way internationally as well as on the domestic level. We've got 3 Sky Sports box office events in the next 7-8 weeks. And to be honest, I've got a phenomenal team, but they're a small team, and we are absolutely hands to the pump on everything. It didn't come into my vision. I sort of wish it had because it's a terrific fight. It's a wonderful unification. I'm really excited about it. Again, it's another pick and fight, and the more we have that in boxing, the better.
It was a shame. Yeah, I don't think we can watch it in the UK anywhere tonight. But yeah, life goes. Adam Smith, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to a great card tomorrow night, and we'll catch you right after.
Cheers.
Thank you.